What's up, everybody? This is Del. Welcome to Del on Movies. Today, we're going to rank all of the movies directed by Ryan Coogler. I saw Sinners opening weekend, like a lot of you did, and I didn't want to jump into ranking his movies right away because I wanted to sit with Sinners for a little bit and try to get over recency bias and actually give it a fair assessment. I think I've arrived at that point. You be the judge, but let's go ahead and get it started. And yeah, he's only directed 5 movies, guys. And I will say that there's not a bad movie in the bunch, but some would argue that one is bad. We'll talk about that in a second. But for me, they've all been really good movies, and I'm excited and looking forward to whatever Ryan Coogler does in the future. So let's start with what I would say is his weakest movie, even though it is a still a really good movie in my opinion. It is my number 5 and Wakanda Forever, the sequel to Black Panther, of course. And this was a movie that had a lot of things going against it. I mean, everyone knows, of course, that the star of Black Panther, the person tagged to play that role, was passed away. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace to him, and there's a large shoes to fill. So there was, all this whether or not they should recast the role, um, and if they did or if they didn't, what direction should the story take? So there was a lot of things hanging over this movie, and I think Coogler and the cast and crew they handled it excellently and gave us about as good a movie as you could get. It was very respectful to Chadwick Boseman, as it is really just a homage to pays homage to him and his career in small ways, but definitely to the man. Um, and that's part of the issue with the movie is that it just feels heavy because of what happened to Mr. Boseman. On the plus side, though, the acting performances were really good by everyone involved in this movie. Angela Bassett, she was nominated for an Oscar. I'm not sure that she should have won that year. I have to go back and look at the performances, but it wouldn't have been a bad call if she did. Underrated person in all this was the lead, Letitia Wright. I thought she was amazing. And she really carried the weight of the movie on her shoulders, and her character was carrying the weight of everything on her shoulders as well. And she really stood up underneath all that pressure. So I was very happy with what we got there. Uh, the movie runs a little bit long in the tooth, and that's a Marvel thing. The movie's a little too long. Um, the villain, we got Prince Namor. I'm looking forward to see what they do with him in MCU, if they do anything else with him. But the I don't know, something about the way it played out was just a little bit off. And we got the introduction of another character. But all in all, I still thought it was a really good really good movie. Number 5 for me for Ryan Coogler, his weakest, but again, still good stuff. Number 4 is another heavy movie, and this one is his debut, and we got a young Michael B. Jordan in the lead. Michael B. Jordan has appeared in all of his movies, and here he is in the lead, and he is just fantastic in Fruitvale Station, based on a true story of a young man who was killed by police officers in California. Oscar Grant was the young man's name. And what we do with this movie is we basically follow him on the last day of his life. And we see some of the issues that he was already going through, some of the issues that he was dealing with. It so happened to be New Year's Eve also. We get his relationship with his mother and his relationship with his daughter, and the relationship with the daughter's mother, and we get a picture of we get a more well-rounded picture of a man, rather than what tends to happen in these when these things happen in the news, or when they happen in real life. But in the news, what we get is um, we boil down each person involved to one thing. So one person is just a police officer, and the other person, if they have had any run-ins with the law, they're hardened criminal. And we get to see him dealing with things, and then by the end, when the thing happens. Yeah, it's a heartbreaking, tough watch, but still an amazing movie nonetheless. Fruitvale Station. Go ahead and check it out if you have not had a chance. I know this is the least known of his filmography. Number three is where I have Black Panther, and I I could put it at number two. I go back and forth between this and another movie for the number two spot. I really could put it at number two. This was a cultural event when it came out. A lot of people showed up and showed out, dressed in outfits and all kinds of things for this movie. It was a moment of Black Pride, which elevates the movie. But if we just stick with the movie itself, it's still really good. And Michael B. Jordan, in this case, he was not the lead, but he's one of the major reasons that it is one of my favorite Marvel movies. And his character, he made salient points and he had a lot to say. And he made an impact on the hero, you know, even after his defeat. So that says a lot about the character. As for the main character, we got Chadwick Boseman here doing the thing. If there's a drawback for me, which probably knocks this movie down from being number two on this list, it's two things actually. One, we got some of the wonkiest CGI in Marvel, especially uh, pre Endgame. Uh, video game effects kind of took hold with some of the fighting scenes, not as much weight as should have been on the characters, and then we got those horrible CGI rhinos later in the movie. The other thing that kind of holds it back is that Chadwick Boseman is not in as much of the movie as you would like him to be in. He spends most of the movie sidelined. The plus side of that is we get a trio of amazing performances from some amazing women, um, as they carry the movie and get us back to T'Challa or Black Panther. So I'm grateful for that. But in a movie called Black Panther, I want more Black Panther in that movie. So good enough for number three on this list. And let's go on to my number two, which is Creed. And Creed, if you're unaware, somehow unaware, this is the continuation or reboot of the Rocky saga. Rocky Balboa is a character in here. Creed is Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan. He is the son of Apollo Creed, who was played by Carl Weathers in the original movies. And, he's had a rough life, been bouncing around juvie and had some tough scraps as a bare knuckle fighter and or underground boxing, and he kind of makes his way to Philadelphia, hooks up with Rocky, and wants to be a real pro boxer and wants to win the championship. And it takes a lot of beats from the original Rocky, and we get a lot of callbacks from the original Rocky. It stands on its own though because of one, some of the things that Coogler was doing behind the camera. There's an amazing the first fight scene, first big fight scene anyway of the movie is just an amazing. I think it's 17 minutes, one take, or at least it looks like it's one take um, fight, and it's some of the best movie boxing I've ever seen. Might be the best. Um, in front of the camera. We got Michael B. Jordan doing a great job as Adonis Creed. Tessa Thompson also great as the his love interest, and the two of them had a really good chemistry that really carried the movie along. So a lot like the original Rocky is not just a boxing movie; it is a love story, and I thought it was really well handled. But keeping it from the number one spot is the fact that it literally stands directly on the shoulders of Rocky, right? It's propped up by that movie. It just so happens that Coogler did an amazing job of standing up there and moving the franchise forward. And of course, that brings me to my number one, Sinners. Obviously, that's a movie I don't have. It's not hit physical media yet. But Sinners is a lot more than I thought it was going to be going in. Uh, I only thing I really knew, I saw like one teaser trailer. I didn't watch longer trailers. I try not to. Um, so I knew it was a vampire movie, and I knew it starred Michael B. Jordan, and I knew it was set back in the day, back during Prohibition. That's about it. That's all I really knew. And then when we get into the movie, you see that it is not really a horror movie. It is a horror movie, but it is also a romance. It is also a gangster movie. It is also a movie about uh, family, family friction. It is not necessarily family friction, but relationship friction. Um, and we got, of course, the two brothers who are both played by Michael B. Jordan, Smoke and Stack. We get it is a religious uh, I wouldn't quite say satire, but definitely religious commentary on religion, commentary on the social structures of America at large. Um, we get plenty of insight into the history of Black music in this country. So there's a lot of things happening here. It's a very, very densely layered film. Uh, it so happens that you can also watch it on the surface and enjoy it. If you watch it on the surface, I will say that you will probably come away with this was way overhyped. And I get it. I understand it. But once you start digging into all the layers that are there, uh, then you get to you get to appreciate the depth of this film and the things that it has to say, and all the things that it just puts up in front of us that we may not even have been aware of as far as how the world operated back then. One big thing for a lot of people was we get a Chinese family in the film, and for a lot of people, it was an eye opener that the Chinese people were even here in the movie. This is Mississippi way back in the day, and yeah, they were there in real life and how they operated between the black side of town and the white side of town. um, it's something a lot of us were not aware of and brought up in the film, and how how the characters interact with one another, black, white, Asian, and Native American. I something dropped. I will say if there was one real drawback to the movie, for me, it was the Native American characters because I did want them to come back and be a bigger part of the film. So I didn't get that. But other than that, I thought this was an amazing film. And yeah, he hit it out the park. And that's why I'm so excited to see whatever Ryan Coogler has next. I will be there. I will be in the theater to check it out. Let me know if you've seen all of Ryan Coogler's movies and how you rank them. If you do, what did you think of Sinners? Am I overhyping it, or is it as amazing as I think it is? Let me know down in the comments, guys. That's all I have for you on this one. Uh, thanks for hanging out with me. If you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me again. I catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.